and welcome to the Muse Talk podcast with me, your host, and as always, joined by my wonderful co-host.
And myself, Josh.
See, in the edit, that'll be seamless. There'll be absolutely no gap at all, but for me, I had to wait tens of thousands of years to hear Josh reply and just introduce
That is the
his...
origin of 1,000-year gap.
That's the 1,000-year gap. If you're in my shoes, you have to wait forever. You don't have to just regenerate like the Doctor, but because the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything else in between can just get that for you. You don't have to go through my pain. Anyway, speaking of pain, it is a beautiful Sunday evening at 18:54 and 47 seconds. It's great. It's lovely. It's been a really nice day. Not too hot, not too cold. It's been just right. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing very well. It has been very nice weather-wise in the UK, so there's a lot of...
It's been great.
Yeah, there's been a lot of outside pub visits, so sitting in the pub garden, things like that, which always is so much better in the UK when you can do that and when you get a break from the crap weather that we always get. So, yeah, definitely boosts the mood, I think. Even just the smell of sun cream in the UK boosts the mood, in my opinion. But yeah.
No, really, I don't really like the smell of sun cream. I just kind of like the smell that you get from the heat and from the grass. And yeah, I think, although I do really enjoy the smell of after it's rained, that kind of, there is a word for that smell.
I know what you mean. I
absolutely love that smell. So I am sort of looking forward to it raining. It has to be a very specific type of rain. Of course, I'm English, and I can tell the difference between different types of rain. It's like people in Iceland or indigenous Inuits. They have 40 different types of word for snow or ice or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I'm English. I can have loads of different words for rain. So you've got drizzle. It's spitting. It's throwing it down. It's raining sideways.
I know the sort of smell you're talking about as well. It's also kind of like that sort of that smell when you get off the plane when you go on holiday and you're coming down the stairs, and yeah, you just get that I'm abroad smell.
I thought it meant you were coming back and you just go border force.
Oh no, that's the bad one. That's the bad one.
That's the other way. That's the bad one. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the new the teaser of Nightshift Superstar. We are 5 days away from the proper release of the song, which comes out on the 5th of June. It proves my theory that we would have one more song ahead of the release of the album. Josh was like, nah. And I was like, yeah. And it turns out I was correct. So eat that. We are also going to have introduce a new section, new things, courtesy of Josh's brain, called the Cool Wall. This is an entirely original idea, apart from the time that Top Gear did it, and we are in no way stealing that idea from them. We are, but it's fine because they stopped doing it in 2007?
Yeah. No copyright here, folks. Don't worry.
No copyright at all. So yeah, but ours is going to be much more relevant. We're not going to talk about cars. We're going to talk about, wait for it, Muse. Who'd have thought on the Muse Talk podcast we're going to talk about how cool various things or uncool various things are in relation to Muse, and it can be anything, as you'll see later on in our discussion for it. But as always, usually always, we didn't do it last time. We're going to talk about some user comments. Now, at time of recording, I have replied to all of the comments on the last episode, which was the Hexagons review. So they've officially been responded to because I like to respond to the fans. But there are one or two, from my view at the very least, that I do want to shout out. I'll go first this time because Josh, unless you would like to go first, Josh, I don't know if you're ready for it.
No, you go first. I'm definitely ready. That's why you can see me frantically typing on the keyboard to get the video up.
He's just so prepared. He's so prepared. He's not done it. So first up is the triumphant return of Mr. 705. Yes, please.
Oh, hey, he's back.
Many long-term listeners may remember this person. They had a really good observation about something. I can't remember what, but I remember really frantically shouting them out over of their observation. I thought it was really, really good. Oh yeah, it was about like they disagreed with something I said, but in like a constructive way, and I was like, yes, brilliant, really, really good. Good observation about things. So yeah, I'm going to read the whole thing verbatim. So if we lose you now in this part of the video, don't forget to like before you leave. Like the video, must do that. So here we go. I think, quote, Mr. 705, yes please. I think there is some truth to the old Muse are back narrative, as annoying as those clickbaity reaction channels can be. While the sound palette of Hexagons may be more in the new Muse category, the writing, melodies, chord progression, lyrics, and vocal delivery all feel steeped in old Muse, end quote. Therein lies the magic, I think, where Simulation Theory and Will of the People felt a bit like half-baked Muse Variety Hour, which I find that's very fun. It's a good observation. Hexagon feels like Muse iterating upon themselves authentically. I think the vocal melody especially is very classic Muse. Also, while there is a definite 80s thing going on with it, I hear a lot of influence from composers like Philip Glass and Steve Reich.
Right.
I'm not German. I'm not German. I don't know how to pronounce that. The way the guitar interweaves with the synth arpeggios and how they all speed up and slow down in unison is all hallmark of the minimalism and avant-garde offshoots of contemporary classical music. I also love how Matt used tapping here. It's not the traditional Van Halen thing, but it's more as a way to make the arpeggio sound more weird and hypnotic. Very good. Anyway, I think that it's all brilliant, and I say that as someone who is equally exhausted by the 80s revivalism as Harry. Once again, Mr. 705, yes, please, you've got a really good observation. I think there, in terms of, the old Muse are back. When we spoke about it, Josh, we were saying, well, my observation was that old Muse are back, or Muse are back, not because of the sound. They've retained the newer, polished, punchy production value, but they've gone back to kind of how they actually go about making music in terms of how they write it. Not just the instrumentation, it's the actual music construction itself. All over it is that, and I think they've really hit the nail on the head. And well, they agree with us, so of course they're brilliant. But they've really articulated it really well. Articulated a lot stronger than I think I have, where Simulation Theory and Will of the People did feel a bit like the Muse Variety Hour.
Yeah,
the kind of gimmick, as it were, of best of Muse, but best of styles. Yes, but I don't think it quite hit. Obviously, it's still Muse and they know how to do it, but I didn't think it hit quite as good as what so far the WoW signal is really kind of shaping up to be. And of course, I think it's really good to kind of to shout out kind of the classical music influences there. It's been a kind of a long staple of Muse, and for them to be able to kind of rockify that kind of feel or kind of sound really works. And then the whole 80s thing is really working for them in this aspect, whereas previously I get overwhelmed and kind of just bored to tears of the 80s thing, but this way it's actually being used in a way where it's not ridiculous and it's not for the sake of its own self. It's actually being used constructively. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of comments actually in here. Obviously, are kind of relating back to the Muse, in quotes, Muse are back. The thing is, a lot of these reaction channels that I was kind of talking about on the last video are not. They're not. I don't think they're embedded enough in the Muse community to even be thinking this way. However, you are completely correct that and I do see your point. And it's there is a difference between sort of just saying Muse are back in the kind of broad sense that I think a lot of these reaction channels are saying it in, and obviously the more kind of deeper, more granularized look that that everyone in the comments is referring to. That I do completely agree with and understand. But yeah, I don't think a lot of these reaction channels are. I think they're just looking for their views, which was my point on the last video, that they just don't understand. That even if Muse were back, I don't think they would even know if they were or wouldn't, or if they were or they weren't, because
they don't know. They don't know what it means.
Because
they're not actual fans.
No.
Is my argument, and I'm pretty sure that you agree with that.
Yeah, no, they just don't have the knowledge base there to actually accurately depict the contrast between the two, So yes, I do. If you're wondering, I do absolutely agree with these comments that have come in, and there is a significant difference between just base level, looking at listening to the song and thinking, oh, yep, that sounds like this, that sounds like that, or actually having a kind of deeper look at it, which is what these comments are highlighting. What other comments do we have in here? Someone's put down at the bottom, how about Electric Light Orchestra?
Yeah, I think, is that in relation to bands that it sounds like? I mean, I did reply to it. I replied to all these comments, but in all honesty, I said, in all honesty, I'll have to go and listen to ELO to hear any similarities. That's what I think that they meant in terms of it sounds like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, ELO are a very, very diverse band. So it's they've got so many different styles that they do, and that was the whole point of ELO, is that they would go from here to there to there to there. It was all over the place, but that worked for the band. So again, that would be sort of like, well, they sound like ELO. Well, which song?
Or which part in the song?
Which part in the song? Yeah, because I mean, even if you listen to, I mean, everyone knows obviously Mr. Blue Sky, but that has about 3 different sections in it, and then at the end, it sounds like it almost goes into a different section entirely. It sounds like something it's just purely orchestral, isn't it? So, yeah.
What was the band that had? What's the band from the song More Than a Feeling? Because that song is more than just that bit. It's like Boston. 8 minutes or. Yeah, Boston. It's like that song is like so much more than just that bit, but everyone just knows the More Than a Feeling bit. But yeah, there's so many like songs out there in the world that have that one bit, like Stairway to Heaven. Everyone just thinks of the guitar solo, but for like half of the song is just the darker, the slower bit. It's easy for like if you're. It's easy to have that sort of thing where there's all sorts of different variety going on when it's a prog rock song, because the idea of prog rock is that it isn't just an A B C B song structure. It dramatically changes up.
Yeah.
And people who kind of don't know that I completely missed the point of those bands. I remember I once briefly worked with a drummer way back when I was like, I think just after I'd finished uni. I was working with a drummer and he thought that all you have to do to make a prog rock song is you just make everything twice as long, make the chorus twice as long, make the verse. I was like, yeah, but that's when you get that really weird Oasis album from 1997. And they only did that because they were just off their face on cocaine. That's not a prog rock album. That's just a long Britpop album. And so it can be easy to kind of skip over quantifying prog rock bands and prog rock songs. But I appreciate the effort from that comment, which is Poofy EL. Or Poofy L.
Yes. What other comments we got here?
Any other comments? I mean, there was people making observations about the link between the Dark Side and Hexagons with the chorus of "Break Me Out, Let Me See." In relation to, I mean, I still don't hear that. I need a lot more to go on than just the vocals. The lyrics are vaguely similar.
I think,
and there was one about the chord progression is E minor, D, A minor, or B minor. I'm like, those are just similar-ish chord progressions because there's only a finite amount of chord progressions.
Yeah,
that work.
I see.
That's not enough for me to go. Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah. I see what Old Sailor 24 is saying about that. Where he's singing, "Reach out, touch me," and that bit is kind of reminiscent of the "Break Me Out." That bit in the Dark Side. So, yeah, I see. There's that there might be a sort of that reminds me of this. I think that's just kind of one of those moments where a song just reminds you of another song, rather than perhaps a direct comparison. You'll see that as well in a lot of bands. I think that's just because they'll kind of have. I think everybody has, as like, especially if you're a music producer, they have these kind of melodies that sort of float around in your head all the time, and certain scales that you like, and they they just float around, and that comes through in your productions or your songwriting, whatever you may be doing. Certain people will like certain scales and they'll be fixated on those in their heads and things like that. So yeah, it often kind of comes up a lot. And with Muse, that's definitely the case. But that's a whole nother discussion, I think. But
that is entirely a whole other discussion. I mean, I get that, but I'm still not convinced that there is a discernible link between the Dark Side and Hexagons. I think those observations that have been made, I think they are purely coincidental and maybe just down to kind of a singular idea that Matt kind of may have, rather than directly referencing this song. It's just, he's just plucking from the same inspiration.
Yes. Yep.
So it's not a follow-on, it's just a different sort of interpretation from the same origin of the idea.
Yeah. There seems to be levels of this where it's just like that. There's, something like that would be like a reminder of another song rather than a direct comparison. And then you have the people that were saying, oh, there's an ARP in this song, therefore it is related to Take a Bow, as I spoke about in the last pod, which is obviously not the case. And then there's this more deeper understanding of Muse history in their music, where you can kind of make a deeper comparison in the tracks. Well, it's because of this, and because of this, and that relates to this and this and this in this track. That's more of a deeper understanding, I think. But all of them are kind of valid. But I mean, when you're kind of comparing two songs in your head, I think instantly it's going to be personal, isn't it? Because when I listen to a song, I go, oh, that reminds me of this. Then that's probably the purest comparison, because even if there's just a short melody or a lyric in there, or just some sort of instrumentation that reminds you of that other song, do you know what I mean? It just triggers that thought in your mind to link the two together. But there's different levels, I suppose, of comparing these sort of tracks. But I think all these comments are very, very valid, and I think that it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing to say that this track reminds you of that, and obviously someone else might not agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you individually find a connection between these two songs, that's great. I can't take that away from you, and I don't want to.
It's not wrong or right.
Yeah, it's where I have issue with it is if you are then going to say that it is demonstrably related to this song.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, no. Just by listening to it, I'm not saying I'm like the music police. I'm certainly not. I mean, like I said, if you feel that it is this, but there's a difference between my view is this and this is reality.
Yeah.
It's just the world that we live in. But I love that people comment this and people that make these thoughts and that they put these ideas forward. And I personally just love seeing these comments that people make. I think these are really, 100%. Really good. And the view that I'm getting is that people are just as excited with this album as I am, at the very least. It's really seeing that Muse are kind of going back to their strengths. They're being more authentic. This is my view, that they're being more authentic, and it is going to be the best Muse album in the last two albums in at least 11 years. Where and because I thought Drones was significantly better than the Second Law and significantly better than the Resistance, and significantly better than Simulation Theory and Will of the People. But like still, Black Holes working backwards. Black Holes, Absolution, Origin and Symmetry, and Showbiz are stronger than those other albums. And why I think, based off what I've seen and enjoyment, this is getting close to being another Black Holes and Revelations in terms of quality, in terms of how much I like it, in terms of how representative it is of their skills.
Yeah.
I'm not sold that it's on par with Absolution and Origin, but it's there for black holes at least. And I said to you in I think it was the previous podcast, in that this is saying to me that I think that they do have another black holes in them. And I think this is it.
I think so. I think so as well.
No, I'm absolutely loving these comments and just seeing the community just come alive with this. It brings hope.
It does.
to quote a almost really good Star Wars film.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think it's nice to see that everyone. I think collectively everyone is very excited about this album, and I suppose that really ties into what we're going to be talking about first, doesn't it? With the newest and latest addition to the album, not in its entirety yet, but
not in its entirety. No, there are some observations that I want to make quickly before we go on to that. And so the last one was our Hexagons review.
Jump the gun.
No, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. You've set it up. We're heading to talk about Nightshift Superstar, but I just want to make a few observations about Hexagons that I had in my notes but did not make. So there was a lot of references to the number 6 on the album, and that is great that was there, but there was one that I missed. It is track number 6 on the album.
Yeah.
And of course, the whole idea of hexagons, I believe, came from the shape of the storm on top of Saturn, which is somehow a hexagonal shape. Now, how that happens in nature, I don't know, because nature doesn't do straight lines. It doesn't do, perfect shape like that. Well, if you look at Giant's Causeway, it is hexagons, but a massive thousands and thousands kilometer square storm on top of a gas giant, that's pretty impressive. I want to know how that happens. But yeah, I really like the recurring theme of the number 6 in that song. I don't know what was designed and what was kind of engineered upon, or was it all a happy accident that all kind of came together? I just really like it. I can't see any kind of like more deeper meaning. There may be, but I just really like it that there's just a lot of recurring theme of the number 6. Really, it reminds me of a Star Trek TNG episode where Kelsey Grammer guest starred. Basically, the Enterprise was going in a time loop, and the number 3 kept on appearing somewhere because Data sent a message back in time for spoiler alert, to go. The number 3 is relevant, and Commander Riker held the commander rank, and that was articulated by 3 pips on his collar, and he made a suggestion to help them get out of this disaster, and that was the suggestion that won them the day. That great recurring theme number. I just like that. That really tickles my little sci-fi fan brain. Yeah, I think those are all that's the last little bit I wanted to get across about hexagons. So we can move on now, Josh. We can talk about Nightshift Superstar if you'd like, and you can start that if you would like very much so to do that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so first off, this is the track was actually released in this really cool way through the new sort of web app that they've got, where the WAP, where
it's
basically
whapping time.
It's whapping time, yeah. Well, I mean, it was when the track got released. Obviously, I saw the little story they put up like everyone else, and I was like, right, no, well, this seems like a creative way to release the track, which is pretty fun. And I respect the effort they've gone through on this album, unlike the sort of past I suppose 3 or 4 albums where there hasn't been really this much effort at all to kind of release it. It's kind of like you get a few tracks and then you get the album comes and that's it. But I like they're making it a little bit fun,
Do you mean in terms of the marketing?
Yeah, just in terms of the actual release strategy that they've got.
I put that down to the marketing agency that Muse paid to do this for them. Obviously, the band aren't doing this, so I think I want to go here.
The team's effort.
I want to go here on record to say well done to the marketing team for this kind of creativity.
Yeah, being 2 marketers ourselves, we respect it.
Well, yeah, got to look out for everyone else in the marketing industry. I think it's really good. I really like the app, and there was one aspect about the app that I really like. When I opened it up, and I found it, I got it to point to the WoW signal, and it opened up it was all opening up pages like you can either listen to Be With You or Cryogen. One of them was a podcast called Event Horizon, where it explained what the WoW signal was, and that is the second channel of the guy John Michael Gaudier, who I referenced when the WoW signal was released as like the name of the episode. I referenced him and his video describing what the WoW signal was. So it's all come together. So I'm not saying that I had the idea first. It's just I'm super into space stuff. And once again, I would like to shout out John Michael Gaudier's podcast, John Michael Gaudier. So his YouTube channel, John Michael Gaudier, and his podcast, Event Horizon, where he has all sorts of special guests from the world of just science, astronomers, theoretical physicists, all these sorts of people, where he just talks about all sorts of crazy and weird and wonderful things about science in space. Really brilliant, absolutely phenomenal stuff. He's really good. He's really great. He's got one of them voices that you could really kind of pulled into and really follow it along. And also got a great voice that it can actually just send you to sleep because it's got a really good communicational tone. Really good podcast, really interesting stuff. He does some really good like top 10s. Here's some new things discovered in science this month. Really good.
Excellent. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I
just like that I had that connection as well, not just from the app. To go back, and I really agree with you, and I really like the idea of that site to kind of market the upcoming album, get some drama around it. You know, the whole thing about it's connected to your phone. You just like look around the sky and just see what's where, and they've put, you know, this like the Cryogen video there, the Be With You video there. You can learn about stuff, and then if you got it just right, you could hear that teaser. It's more active. It's more engaging because you have to stand up and turn around rather than just scroll on your phone.
Well, I was trying to search the whole bloody room for it. I had my phone up. You know, it's like when I had the chance, it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like trying to find this stuff. I just like, fucking hell. I was like, where is it? And I just want to listen to the song. I just want to listen to the song, and I'm looking around. You know what I mean? I've got it says bloody sounds like a metal detector, doesn't it? Like do. And I'm like, I'm getting close. Oh, it's the wrong fucking one. Like,
I won't lie. I did start to get a bit pissed off with the noise.
Oh, the noise was really irritating. It was just there
because it's just an MP3.
Yeah.
So it was not like reactive. It's just there playing all the time. So I was But that's fine. I first saw it when I was in a coffee shop, and I thought, I can't stand in the middle of this coffee shop trying to just like ping to find this because I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm just going to look really weird. So I thought I'm going to save that till I get home. And then
what are you looking for? What are you looking for? I'm just looking for Muse's new single.
I'm looking in space. But I love that it's doing that because it's connecting, really getting across the theme of space. It's, you know, making you think, right, beyond this building, beyond that wall, it's not just outside. It's, you know, there's spaces over there, stars are over there, stars are over there, stars are over there. And just nice to see around you, like the whole universe, and to kind of properly get you for a split moment, immerse you into the whole album in another way. The whole thing is the album's talking about space and extraterrestrials, and for one brief moment can make you think you're right in the middle of it. Well, that's the sense that I got, and that's a really good immersive experience, and why I think shout out and really well done to the people in the marketing team.
Yeah, definitely.
Who came up with that. I think is really good. A really good attention to detail. Just brilliant overall, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you found the track, what were your thoughts on it? What did you think?
I was confused.
You was confused.
I was afraid. I was petrified. So Nightshift Superstar could mean to me one of two things. One, it's either a really, really good nurse. She's working on the ward. It's 4:00 in the morning. She's just going. You know, she's full of sugar and energy and just the need to heal the sick. Or it's just sometime at night it gets a bit different. I can't quite figure out what it means. And that was just the title.
Yeah, and
that was before I even listened to it. I was like, "Where's this going?" And then so obviously it opens up with the child choir, sort of like reminiscent of like a bit of like Survival. You had that choir going. So I told you, just like a unison vocal choir doing that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they've done much in regards to vocal ensembles of not Matt Bellamy or Chris talking or singing. It's usually them, so it's quite rare for that to happen. Like you've had Unsustainable, where it's like a vocoder, but not like an ensemble number of people.
Yeah.
I really like that. It's kind of like a droney thing, but not in the album Drones. It was just this kind of relenting thing, and then it kind of interweaved with the music and then explodes out. Good musical journey. It's not standing still, it's constantly moving, and then just explodes into that bass disco.
So good.
So
good.
As a guitarist, I'd be like, I want a good like guitar riff to get into it.
Yeah.
That bass riff is so cool. I don't care if there's no guitar in it. I'll just vibe off just that sound, that feel, and just jam out. And I might actually pause. I might pause here to just go listen to it now. So excuse me for a moment. But I'm blown away by it. Great vocal performance as well.
Yeah, really solid vocals, I have to say. Really, really solid. He sounds great in this track.
Yeah, and it worked. The production on it works really well with the bass. I still think that I might have issue with the production side, but I will only make that call once the full song is released, just because I'm still dubious of Dan Lancaster in the producer role, where everything may be a bit over compressed. But I did like how I could pick out the different sounds from the bass. There was that like low pass filter on it, then it opens up, and then you've got more of that clean slap, not like as in like slap bass, but this kind of clean crackle in it, and then you've got that more like distorted part that can come through, so it kind of evolves and changes in real time with you. That's a really good attention to detail. Obviously, if you're going to do that sound, you do need to compress it so it can be squashed and so it can be consistent and powerful all the way through. But I will not make that judgment on production until the full song's released. This coming Friday. I mean, Josh, tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought, first impressions, I was really jamming out to this. Do you know what I mean? Well, after I found the bloody thing, after searching for it on the app, it was a real nice reward, nice pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for sure on that app. But yeah, no, I loved it wasn't what I expected. At all. Nope. It was a really nice surprise, and after there's that kind of do they call it a trick drop? I can't remember the word now, but it's like a trick drop, a false drop, where it kind of you think it's gonna drop at that point, and then that you kind of hear the bass, and then it works up that little segment again, and then the full bass comes in, where you kind of get that full drop on the track. I thought that was really, really cool. And the bass, it sounds so good. It sounds. I'm sure Chris is absolutely dying right now to play this live. I would be so. if I was a bass player. But it really shows off his. I mean, listen, it's not the first track that he's been able to show off his bass playing capabilities. It's
another example of him showing off his capabilities. It kind of proving that he's still got it. Hysteria came out 23, oh my God, years ago. Is it just that? Is that the only one? I mean, there are other, as proper Muse fans will know, he does the jams. Hysteria is ones that shows off his skills or his ability to make something sound exciting. Panic Station, to a much lesser extent, is one that really does stand out and sounds powerful. I saw that there are people who are drawing comparison to Nightshift Superstar and Panic Station. I can't for the life of me think why. Is it just that it's an out there bass line?
I think it's totally
different
bass,
styles.
Just a little bit of slap bass in there.
A little bit of slap, but then why not make that attention, draw that comparison to Undisclosed Desires?
There you go.
Just being pedantic. Just being pedantic.
Now you'll see a load of comments saying it sounds like Undisclosed Desires.
Actually, I think you're wrong. Just because it has something in it doesn't mean it's like related. It's like they use the same technique, but like, what does that mean? Like Matt Bellamy is singing in this. Does that mean it's exactly the same as Showbiz? No. I just wanted to interject that. I might, whilst you're talking, I might just listen to the teaser just whilst you're doing that.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I will listen to it and have you at the same level, but I'm just going to vibe out for a bit. You go, talk.
Yeah, but I think no. After the drop came in, I think it was just hearing that kind of bass and hearing it constantly, always changing from a production standpoint. You've got, and a mixing standpoint as well. You've got the filter coming in, you've got the filter coming out. You've got the little cuts in there that would have been made. So he would have played a segment and then they've cut up the audio to create that kind of stutter effect on there. That is what great producers and great mixing engineers really, really do. That is what they really can add to a song. And it creates a bit more of a groove in the track. And it creates just much more movement. Just creates much more movement. As Harry's demonstrating right there, he's moving around, he's waving his arms in the air.
I've just remembered it. I've just paused it for a moment. I've just remembered a thing that I needed to remember. But you carry on. I've just remembered. I need to say this. If I don't remember it, just tell me that there was something I remembered and forgot. But carry on.
Sure. So yeah, that's essentially, that is what the producers and the mixing engineers are really adding to this track, in my opinion. So I think Dan Lancaster, he's done a really good job. I know we kind of dig him out from time to time, but on this one, I really think he did a great job. And the production
maybe this is
really
more
good.
His wheelhouse than the metal album.
Yeah,
the metal
I think so.
Vibe.
I think so. I think this is a track he can really get behind. And I think this is one where perhaps the heavier style of compression really works due to its kind of, it's sort of like there's not really an electronic track, but there's certainly a lot of elements in there which you might use, production techniques and so forth, which you might use in an EDM track, you know? So yeah, I really, really absolutely loved it. And, you know, it definitely sounds like Muse are pivoting with this track towards something that they really want to get up there in the charts. I think they're really, with this track, I think Matt and the rest of the band were definitely like, you know what, let's do something that is us, but really brings out, I guess, the pop element in us strongly for what's going on right now. Because a lot, you know, this is obviously a bit more of a copy and paste sound. It sounds probably more like closer to a Dua Lipa track than it would do to a Muse track.
I've seen the connection between that and Dua Lipa. I've only heard that one Dua Lipa song, or maybe those two, but from adverts or just on social media. I've not listened to the full song. I don't even know the names of those songs. I tried to find that song just to listen to the guitar because I really liked the guitar part in it, and it's just generic stuff, but the production on it sounded nice, and it had a really nice particular sound in it. But I've seen that connection of like, it sounds like Dua Lipa, and I'm like, you know what, maybe I could spend some time to try and just listen to that, just so I can be informed and make that observation. But you know, I live a busy life. Am I going to have time to really listen to an artist that I've never listened to before? Who knows?
But I really like the way that and obviously you mentioned Matt's voice. He sounds incredible on this track. There's not a lot of falsetto so far that I've heard, because we've obviously only heard the preview, but you know, the full voice, that kind of mixed voice that he has when singing higher in his registers. He's got
a good head voice. I think that's what some people call it.
He's got a very strong head voice, so therefore, you know, when he's blending his chest and his head voice to kind of to sing those higher sort of full voice notes, it sounds really, really great, and it comes across in this track really, really well. I think his voice has definitely improved. He's never going to get it back to early 2000s. It's impootally, but
because he's older now.
No, exactly.
Simple as.
But
it has to work with what it can do now. Yeah, totally.
It sounds really, really great, and it was really cool to hear him sing on a track that is kind of more pop chart focused. You know, those kind of sort of melody, vocal top line melodies that he's using. The Nightshift Superstar. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of it's quite cool to hear him and Muse do something like that. I know there'll be some people out there that would disagree because, you know, they want Origin, they want Showbiz, they want Black Holes kind of era stuff. But I think this is really, really good as a track. And I think as just separate the kind of history of Muse and the obsession with that and just separate it into its own bucket. If this was a new band bringing out this song, and that's what it was, and that's what you heard, it sounds really, really great. I think it sounds really, really great. And I guess the last sort of thing I have to say about it so far, until we do sort of a proper review once the track's fully released, is it sounds a lot like some of the stuff that Nothing But Thieves have done in their later albums.
That's what I was going to say. That was the thing. I was like, remind me to say this, because I was like, yeah, when he does the that bit, that's so Conor-mation. That's so Connor. I was like,
yes,
have they just been like sharing notes? Really, really good, because like early Nothing But Thieves, especially their first album and their second album as well, like really guitar, drums, bass driven, and then as they got on, they introduced some more keys aspect to it and more synthy sound, because, you know, I think it sounded as though Nothing But Thieves were kind of going into the same sort of territory Muse have been doing, but maybe with a bit more finesse.
Yeah, perhaps.
And then Muse are kind of like going in the Nothing But Thieves kind of vibe. This is, to me, sounds like the song doesn't have guitar at all. So this is the pop song. This is the song where Matt's going to be doing like the real big audience interaction. To a lesser extent, Be With You is going to be like that, but he puts the guitar on after, in the same way that Madness, later he gets the guitar on to do the the solo. But like Undisclosed Desires, there's no guitar and he doesn't have the keytar. That only survived the Resistance album. But that's the one where he sometimes goes into the crowd and, you know, shakes hands, reaches out to them and gets engagement with them there. This is that song. This is going to be like that.
This is that song on the album, I think.
Yeah, to a lesser extent, like in the same way Mercy. Now, Mercy has guitar, and he did play guitar, and then he abandoned the guitar to do, you know, prancing around, peacocking on the stage. But yeah, this is that song. Now, you'd think that I'd be dubious about this, because it is the pop song. It's doing the Mercy. It's doing the Undisclosed Desires. It's doing the Madness. Now, I think of those three in particular, Madness is the one that I like the most. Undisclosed Desires is good for the slap bass, and the chord progression is really nice. Mercy really doesn't do a lot for me, because I think it was trying to copy too much what Starlight was doing of, you know, open, be in a major key, do a glistening piano melody, and then so on. But this, because it's got so much, it's to use a term that the children use, it's got so much riz. I don't know if I'm using it right, but it's got so much personality. It's got so much presence about it. It's so confidently out there. Me personally, I can't help but admire it, because it's
no.
not
Absolutely.
what Muse have kind of done before. We've seen Matt become more and more confident as a frontman. Obviously, he's always been the singer, he's always been the guitarist, but would you call him a frontman? No. But now he's kind of getting into it, because But since he started to use a wireless microphone, take some more space for himself on stage and do the audience interaction, he's become more and more confident towards it. I don't think he's ever going to get to like Freddie Mercury levels, but I don't think anyone ever is. But he's getting there.
Tough bar to beat.
Yeah, tough bar to beat. But I think he's getting there in terms of coming into his own as a frontman. Like, look at him when he was at Coachella. That was all out there naked for all the world to see. I
hope not. I don't know. That wasn't the video I saw.
No, I meant in terms of just he's out there. He's in his you wouldn't download a car outfit. Music plays in the background. But I like that he's at that stage, he's comfortable. I mean, could you imagine Origin of Symmetry era Matt doing that? I think he would do anything possible to get out of doing that. He wouldn't do it. Now he has. I would love to know what he's kind of been exposed to, what he has had to kind of draw confidence for this, or is it just over the years he just gives less and less of a fuck and knows it's all about, if you fake it till you make it, fake the confidence, and people will be immersed in it, and then they just accept you for what the performance is.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of the two, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I absolutely applaud him for this, because this is the biggest leap in this direction that he's doing. Madness is in a major key, Mercy is in a major key, Underscore's Desires is not in a major key. But this is a really nice, confident song. It's a real break away from things that they've done before. And it's a surprise, good sounding poppy song. And I'm totally here for it. I'm really excited by it. I'm surprised that I'm so excited by it. But as soon as I heard it, as soon as I heard like the child choir bit, I was like, huh? Don't quite get it. Is it just going to do that? But then it starts to build up. You've got the strings in there. Reminded me a bit of Bjork. There's another song that's in my mind that it reminded me of, but I can't quite get the name of it. And then it just exploded into that. I was like, well, that's so weird. Nothing But Thieves were inspired by Muse, and now Muse are inspired by Nothing But Thieves.
It's come full circle.
And then some disco stuff. I was like, whoa. As you and I will know, that we really celebrate Muse in terms of how they are able to just combine all sorts of musical styles and so on. But this one is I imagine, is going to be one of the great examples of them really mashing styles together.
Yes, yeah.
And pulling it off,
I think
and doing it in their own way that works.
I think music in general now. The problem is with pop music is they're missing all the key things that I believe, and a lot of people out there do believe, that makes great music. But the one thing I do like about pop music is that, they borrow things and like good elements from past eras, which I think is pretty cool. A lot of artists nowadays are doing that. In fact, because music is not really necessarily advancing anymore, it's actually going backwards. But I just think they're going about it in the wrong way. Muse with this track is how I think, if people in the 70s could imagine what disco, where would this genre be? Where would this disco genre be in 2026? I think this would do a really great job of getting that message across. And I think they would really, I think if you gave this track to a lot of those kind of 70s slap bassists and those kind of musicians that played in a lot of those bands in the 70s, they'd really like this. People like Chic, do you know what I mean? I can imagine like them listening to this track and going, that's kind of what we did, but they've done it in this new way, in this new era for 2026, and it sounds really, really cool, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And so far, listening to the album, there isn't a song I necessarily dislike. I mean, there was Be With You. I think that's probably the lowest on my list for sure, but again, I don't think it's a bad song, and I've shown it to so many people, and they also really do like it. And I think this is going to be a good opportunity for more people now to get into Muse. And I think that this track is going to be, so far, I think this track is going to be the one that's going to get into the charts, maybe even. Who knows? It might even do so well that, you're going to be hearing Muse on Capital Radio, Capital FM, which is the hit music station of the UK, if anyone doesn't know. But I can't imagine them saying, here comes, that voice, it comes the big top 40. Do you know what I mean? And they do coming up now, a number so-and-so is Muse, you'd be like, what?
I think there's a real shout for it, because it's the FIFA song. It's the FIFA song. It's already in there. So obviously I think that had been worked on for a while. I don't know how those things go. It's either producers kind of go out to media related things and go, here is this upcoming song, are you interested? Is this energy enough for you, or is it the way around?
Oh well, the FIFA music was chosen by two ladies who worked on, and they literally their whole job was we want you to source music for the game, and they just went off their own taste in music pretty much, and they actually just went through a load of songs, and they were just like, we'll have this one, I love this one, we'll have this one, and there's this song that I really like, and we'll have that, and that's pretty much how it worked actually. I asked that because when I was at at university, and I was studying music business, that was something that came up, and I asked about it, and the tutor who was giving the lesson actually knew one of the ladies who did it. So yeah, it was really interesting how that kind of came about. But yeah, that was that's kind of how that happened. But it's probably different now. But yeah, that's how it was back then.
I don't imagine it's that different. But my point being, if it's like it's in that FIFA World Cup advert, it's cemented in there. It's made enough of an impression to get there. So it's already had loads of exposure, and it's not even released. And I think that plays well for them. Now they have to stick the landing. But I think that is a great start out the gate for this song, in terms of Muse exposing themselves, not in an indecent way, to new audiences, with a new style of song for them, and just with some positivity. You know, this year has been bleak as fuck.
Yeah.
Without getting too into politics, you know, we did the whole Strait of Hormuz. Stay out of politics! Shouts someone in the background. But like, you know, the world's been a bit grim so far.
Yes.
And even in the music industry, we can't get away from it with the likes of what Fender have been doing in terms of sending out cease and desist letters to all sorts of guitar creators in the world. It's just like horrible. And for me, at least, here is a little bit of positivity with a nice, positive, major key disco song. I never thought I'd ever say I'd like disco songs. The only artist I know and occasionally listen to that does anything related to disco is Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
Yeah, yeah.
She's such a vibe for that kind of like mid-noughties kind of sound. Obviously, she started in like 99, is still started in 99-ish, and is still going now. But those like that 2004 to like 2007, 8 kind of vibe, where you got like Murder on the Dance Floor and other songs that she did that are massive at that point. All the names of the songs escape my head, but they're playing in my head. I like those, but like she's, you know, done disco stuff, and it's so different. Again, with your point, if you go way back to the 70s, disco is so different to what we describe as disco now, and it had a real stigma of like disco's like, you know, really quite lame and boring, and the only one that people know or like is that Rasputin one.
Yeah, I think
which is an absolute banger.
It's just nice that you know, it's kind of made. I mean, you know, I'm not saying Muse are the first to do it; they're far from it. But you know, it really has. Disco's made a full circle now, and it's nice to see what people have taken that genre, and you know, and to see what they come up with. And again, this is another example of a track that I think, you know. So this is the sort of track that Dua Lipa would collab on. You know, she would listen to that and go, "I'm all for it." You know, it's nice to see. It's nice to see. And as you said, yeah, it's something a bit different, a bit positive, and something that Muse haven't done before, but still captures the talent behind the band. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a time for Chris to get out the front and do his thing, and the crowd to go nuts. And I love that. And yeah, I think so far this album has just been hit after hit after hit. You know.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be the hit that's going to do really well in the charts potentially.
Commercial.
So let's, you know, fingers crossed for that, because I'd like to see that.
I'd love to see it. I'm really excited for it. I really want this to do well. All right, I think we'll call that part to a close. We will continue this discussion when this full song releases this Friday. We don't know if we're going to record on Saturday or Sunday, or even indeed if we're going to do a late one on Friday. But we'll do it as soon as we can, so it's all fresh, and release it as soon as we can. But I'm excited. You're excited. You at home should be excited for that song.
Absolutely.
Indigestion. Maintenant, alors, so we are going to move on to the Cool Wall.
The Cool Wall.
Oh, there's no studio audience to clap and cheer and so on. Right, I'm gonna hit record in this.
Just insert clip of Richard Hammond going, "The Cool Wall."
The Cool Wall. The Cool Wall. Yeah.
So, as you can see here on screen, the Cool Wall, in a sneak peek rebrand of the Muse Talk podcast, we're going brighter in honor of Nightshift Superstar being quite positive. We're going quite positive. The previous or current branding at time of recording is dark and black. Now we are going bright and white. So Josh can't see this. Maybe I should share my screen. I'm going to share my screen so
That would
Josh
be
can
nice.
see this. Yes, there you go. Right, there you go. Wonderful. Hopefully my chair won't break. For you at home, my chair is slightly broken. So if I just crash on the floor, you know why. And then that will
And then we get our viral clip.
There you get your viral clip. So how the call wall works, you can see here, it says Muse call wall. We are lifting this entirely from BBC's own Top Gear back when it was good and a thing, because Top Gear isn't a thing anymore. We have 5 categories: super uncool, uncool, cool, super cool, and sub-zero. Anyone who may have watched Top Gear in the past will remember there was the Aston Martin fridge, where any Aston Martin goes into that. Our equivalent of that is the Manson guitar fridge. As all of Matt's guitars go in there. There is no limit to the things that we can put on the call wall. We can have people, we can have objects, we can have things that happen.
Events,
and anything,
stuff like that.
Events and anything that we want. Clothing. Anything that we want. We've got 1 or 2 things picked out. We've got 6 or 7 choices. I think I've got... How many have I got here? I've got 7. Is it 7? I don't know. I've got, I think, 7 each, things that we've picked out. This image is going to get quite full to start with, maybe. But that's how we're going to do it. Now, as with a few things that we've done like this before, not like this, but we haven't mentioned them. We've not deliberated, so there could be some overlap. Hopefully there isn't. To kind of articulate some of the obvious stuff, I've chosen what I think is some really obvious Muse things. And if we are completely overlapping, we can then just hurry to do them in real time if we have indeed gone through all our material in 5 minutes. At time of recording, we have done almost a full hour. We've just now done an hour of recording. Whether that makes it into the edit, we don't know. So, with all that established, this has no bearing on the universe, the world, or anything. We are just rating super uncool, uncool, cool, super cool, and sub-zero on anything to do with Muse. And to give us our first ever one, I would like Josh to kick us off with your first choice.
Well, I'm going to go with something that I believe is sub-zero.
Okay.
So,
I don't
yeah,
believe
this
you.
is... so I have gone for my first pick, because it should be a positive first pick, I think. But, the first thing we put on there should be something that's absolutely super iconic, super cool. And I have gone with Matt Bellamy's red suit from Wembley 2007.
Okay, right. Okay, send me that image. Send me that picture.
Across comes the image.
Across comes the image. We sent it in chat.
I have.
You have?
I have sent it in chat. It should be there now.
There it is. I've got it. Download image. Let's get it up. Where are you? Right, there you are.
So yeah, anyone
There we
anyone
go.
who
Oh my god, that's
isn't
huge.
familiar.
That's huge.
Yeah, anyone who isn't familiar, 2007 when they did the gig at Wembley. Obviously, it wasn't the only gigs that Matt wore the red suit for, but
it was a lot of the 2007 shows. There it is. The first one, the red suit. Have to agree with you. That now, from my view, that's like the red suit specifically, like just that. It's not like the guitar as well, although the guitar nicely matches up with it, but it's the red suit itself. No, I like that.
Absolutely.
No, that really works. I think that's a good observation. Shall I do one?
Yeah, you go next. You go next.
Okay, great. We're going to alternate. My first pick. Now, I love how Josh went super, super positive. Something really nice. I'm going to do something. I'm going to go opposite.
Okay.
I'm going to do something super uncool. I'm going to go with the robot that delivered Matt's guitars for the Wembley show.
Oh, that was so bad. I think I don't know. I read somewhere that it broke down halfway through the show.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have far to travel, did it? I mean, it was literally like about what 5 meters,
20
if that.
feet.
Yeah, like 3 meters. Totally pointless. I don't think the crowd could even really see it that much. I mean,
No,
nor did they
you couldn't.
care,
You could see if you were like for the sake of it. I was almost about to point on screen, like behind Matt. You can see the stands up here, but it did have a light on it. Just at this point in the video where I've screenshotted it, the light isn't being shown. You could vaguely make out this grey object with a flashing yellow light on it was making its way slowly towards Matt, either to kill him or to just stand there. I don't know. It was a bit
It looks
weird.
It looks like a prototype that they built back then for what we have now for all the rich people that have big gardens and they buy those robotic like grass what do you call them, lawnmowers. It looks like a prototype that they built for that, and they said this is the future of lawn mowing. This is what it looks like now. but we're gonna and then they've gone and said, you know what, can we get one of those but without the blades on the bottom and stick a guitar stand in it?
Yeah. What a fucking weird choice. What is wrong with having a human being go out there and just swap it out? I don't know.
We've started off with harp then.
Yeah, so we've started off with harp. All right, Josh, next one. Can you make it a hat trick with harp?
Can I make it a hat trick? Let's see. Well, yeah, I suppose I can actually, because I've got one that could be. Well, I don't know. We might have to discuss this one because it could be super uncool or it could just be uncool.
Okay, right. Tell you what, announce it, send it in chat, and we will have a debate. We'll have a discussion.
Okay, here comes the
that's
image.
That's what I really wanted. I wanted to for us to kind of deliberate, because I think a lot of these, some of these, one or two, I've put in, kind of got some idea, but others that I'm happy to kind of have a little bit of a discussion about. I know what he's doing. Ooh.
So the next, so the next pick is not necessarily harp specific, but certainly was worn during the harp concert and that era, which, as you can see, is Dom's green trousers or yellow trousers, because he did alternate between the two. To which Matt Bellamy said, "You tend to wear your green trousers a lot, don't you?" in the interview, and then he said, "Bit gay, aren't they?"
Back when you could just say that.
Back when you could say that.
But no, I'm going to just say that makes it sound as though I'm like hearkening back to better times. No, I'm just saying that was a time when people said something that's a bit gay. Not necessarily a nice thing to say now, but anyway, lime green trousers. Now, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say uncool. I don't think super uncool, because at the end of the day, like as a musician, do you know what I mean? Something you kind of got to dress a little bit loud in places. You got to have your thing. If Mac's coming out there in a red suit, do you know what I mean? Dom wants to come out there in something that's maybe a little bit bright coloured as well. So you know what? I'm going to say it's uncool, but not super uncool.
I'm going to say they're cool. I think they're cool just because they're allowed that out there. Yeah, I think they're cool just because, as you're right, it's doing it on stage. Now, I can't imagine that Dom would actually wear these normally. Although he does. So
how does it work then? How did they do it on Top Gear? Didn't they put it some on like the line? They put some on the line.
Yeah. So by that definition, we'd have to do like this.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make these things fit. Now, is
it's
that
a split
fair?
Decision, guys. So.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
If you want, we can skew it a little bit more to uncool, but there's still a bit of cool in there.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
All right. We'll skew it to uncool, but I think I'm going to say both. Now, Right, my next pick. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is going to relate to this. That's going to relate to this one. Now it's going to appear in Super Uncool, but that's not where I'm putting it for the moment. It's just where I preloaded all my images, and it's loaded in behind the robot. Now it is just Dom Howard, just your basic bog standard Dom Howard.
Just Dom Howard. So we're rating Dom Howard on the scale.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to rate Dom Howard. Hot or not? Snog, marry, kill. Now, did you go first last time to justify it, or did I go first? You said super and cool. I'm going to put Dom in cool.
I'm going to put Dom in. I'm going to put Dom in super cool for one reason.
Okay.
He's, and this is just something that I personally respect. He's never, despite him being an absolutely amazing drummer, he's never made a big deal out of it, and he's always kind of just sat behind the kit and just done everything that's always been asked of him. And he never has he ever sort of gone out there and just said, you know what I mean, and even pointed towards the fact of like, oh, I deserve a bit more recognition. I deserve this. Do you know what I mean? He just kind of sits there and he just does his thing, and every single song, whatever you need out of Dom, he's going to give it. So I think he fits into super cool.
Okay, right. No, you've convinced me. Super cool. Super cool.
I've convinced you on that one.
You convinced me on that one. I was just going to go with cool because it's just like there. And I've got a reason for that with some other things I've got coming up. But I'm happy to put Dominic Howard, Stockport's own Dominic Howard, in super cool. Yeah,
absolutely.
I can't disagree, because my justification for cool was going to be very similar to that, maybe not as articulated, but is a brilliant drummer. I would actually say is underrated.
100%.
He just
very underrated. Yeah,
he just gets it done.
Yeah,
and he's also left-handed. I'm left-handed, but I play guitar right-handed.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
I'm a kind of chop and change in terms of what kind of works for me. So yeah, if I were to write something, it would be in my left hand. I throw with my left hand. When I was a kid, I played cricket right-handed. I could kind of do tennis with both.
Do you want multi-handed then?
And then guitar is just right-handed. I don't know why, because when I was a baby, I would always reach for things with my left hand. So that I just would go left-handed. But then for guitar, I think it was just because all the guitars I'd ever seen, and before I started playing, I would pick up my cousin's guitar, which was a right-handed one, and would just make horrible sounds with that. And so I think my brain was tuned to that. And when I worked
I had
in
a friend
guitar,
who has a similar thing.
And when I worked in a guitar shop and I'd speak to parents when they're getting their kids to learn guitar, you'd have to say, is he left-handed or right-handed? And there was one or two times that they said, he's left-handed. And I would say, make him learn right-handed. Because the whole thing about learning guitar is you make friends who are musicians. You want to get together and make a band or just play each other's instruments. He's not going to be able to do that if he's left-handed. And this is me who's been playing for 20 plus years. It's just nice to be able to share those moments. And if you can learn the most common way that a guitar is orientated, i.e. right-handed, then it's better. Joe Strummer was left-handed and he had to learn right-handed because his family was quite poor and they only had a right-handed guitar. So it is a thing, and I am living proof that I probably would have been left-handed, but did it right-handed to the point where holding a guitar left-handed is horrible. Little fun fact about me, but I like that he's left-handed and plays drums left-handed. It makes him stand out a little bit better, but the thing where it comes out close and really strong with Dom is the jams that he has with Chris. Just so tight, so in tune with him. It just gets the job done. So good. And it worked perfectly. I've never seen a performance where I think Dom could have done better. He's only getting better as time goes on, where he's just really smashing it out, quite literally, pun intended. So that's my second choice. Hit me with your number 3, Josh.
Okay, my number 3.
I've also just had a thought that I'm going to have to make this whole view different. in the edit on YouTube, I'm gonna have to kind of put this on screen and then move us around somewhere. I've just had that mental battle. Oh well. So yeah, sorry.
Something for later.
Yeah, something for later. Number 3.
Number 3. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be something that we both rate Sub-Zero.
I'm going to try and be contrary and go, cool.
So, number 3, Chris smoking a pipe during Nishi, whatever you want to call it, at Glastonbury.
Yeah. I'm with you. I like this. Okay,
that's got to go into Sub-Zero. That, I mean, wow, how cool is that?
Send me the image. There we go.
Here comes the image. I thought that was the best shot of it, because that's the blue light in the background and just the silhouette of Chris is what makes it super, well, Sub-Zero.
Well, Sub-Zero. Wonderfully pixelated. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm going to push it, and it's going to go into like kind of like the next dimension territory. It's going to start to bleed into what would be the Manta guitar fridge of just just that. There it is. It's just like a little bit on the edge. Can't disagree with you. It's quite funny if you think of people smoking a pipe. You think about old men in pubs before the smoking ban in the UK. By the way, the smoking ban in the UK was brilliant. I'm a non-smoker and think smoking is not a brilliant idea. And I enjoy going into spaces, not choking to death. But yeah, my view of people who smoke pipes are people who old men. But here you've got this guy who just makes it actually look a bit cool. He's making smoking look a bit cool.
It's also the I don't give a shit factor.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so it's maybe not good for the public health and for kids, but yeah, for just cool factor, it's there. I can't disagree with you. I'm kind of a bit annoyed now because we are agreeing on a great many things.
You never know, there might be a few, but yeah.
I am going to. I was gonna sod it. I'm gonna do this. Where is it? It's this one. My choice. In the same vein as you've done a thing about Dom, and I chose Dom, you've done a thing about Chris. I'm going to do a thing about Chris. Here he is. Just Chris Wolstenholme. Look at that. Look at that man. Play bass.
What a man.
What a man. Play bass wearing a Ouija board t-shirt. Where even though he's wearing cut jeans, like he got holes in his jeans, and I think that's a bit weird and a bit kind of bleh. I'm gonna put Chris in super cool, but a little bit in front of Dom. That's where I would put him. Because it's Chris.
I would put Chris in Sub-Zero, no doubt.
Really?
So yeah, absolutely. I just
so we've got a bit of this going on.
Yeah, 100%. I just his stance on stage and the way he plays bass and everything. Like certainly now, he's just he does stand out on stage despite him not having
ever doing interviews.
Yeah, exactly. But he just stands out on stage, and he's obviously quite clearly the heartthrob of the band amongst the female viewers. I would imagine. So certainly for my mum as well.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
I'll save the embarrassment. I won't dig deeper into that conversation.
No. Definitely, I would personally put him in Sub-Zero. So therefore, we can have a split decision between Super Cool and Sub-Zero.
Split decision on that. I think that one's absolutely fair. I think for me, it's the stance that he takes when they do Hysteria. I think they started doing it from the beginning of Absolution. Certainly by when they did Glastonbury, where it was more of a here he is going to play it. There was a frigging spotlight on him on the Glastonbury show for Hysteria. But now he runs down the middle of that track, the runway, and then there's this whole stance. He's kind of really stepped into it and is more aware of his own aura. If you compare it to where in 2000 playing the Bizarre Fest, the Bizarre show that they did, and they're just there on stage. Matt's just going a bit crazy, but Chris just seems really not Not that he didn't want to be there, but he just didn't really know what to do with himself apart from play bass.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been a lot. That's often what he's done until sort of fairly in recent years. That he's kind of just happy sort of being on stage playing bass and not doing much else.
Yeah.
But he's confirmed that himself. He never really wanted to be the focal point. He's quite happy being that kind of taking that sort of like session player-ish role, sort of like while I guess sort of Matt goes out there and does his thing.
Does Matt stuff.
I suppose so. Yeah,
plays weird noises loudly. Yeah, I think that's there. And I'm definitely going to class that as both Dom and Chris as they are now, not any kind of specific era. Because if I was going to put like Absolution Tour era Dom, I would put him in Uncool.
Oh, really?
Because he just looks a bit dorky.
Yeah, he does look like that kind of kid that has band practice in his garage, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be my. But yeah, like just I think where they are now, they've really kind of matured. They know what's what, and they make it work for them. And I think it's great. And I think another kind of a little thing for me that has kind of really helped cement that for me for Chris is that he's got his own like signature bass lines, not bass lines as in to play it, but like series of bass signature or kind of custom ones that he's got. It's hard to articulate why I think that's cool, but it's just like he has this and he's proud of it. It's unique to him. It's made for him, and it gives more of presence to him in the same way that I think like in the same way that Manson guitars are cool. Because they are like a specific thing. But yeah, that's me. Next one for you, Josh.
Next one for me. I have got the band swapping places on Italian TV.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I personally think this is super cool because I just remember seeing it and thinking how funny it is. And also, like, there's not many bands out there that with the balls to actually go out there and do that and just go against every decision that they've made. So I think that's hilarious. And I think it's a good sort of protest against people that you know, they're going to go on a TV show. They know that people aren't really going to know who we are. And therefore, why don't we make a joke about that? And we'll all swap places and they won't know the difference.
Oh, it's is it for in the Resistance era? It's not the Hey You Crazy Kids one. No, it is the Italian one. Yeah, the Resistance era one. Okay. Interesting. Now this is sort of irritating for me because I really want to disagree with you on many of these things so that we have some sort of. Although, that's more specific. I am going to disagree with you. I'm going to say it's uncool.
You're going to say uncool, so therefore it has to go into cool, doesn't it?
Well, no. I mean, fight me for it. I mean, we can't do the height gag there where Richard Hammond couldn't reach here. But now, I understand they were doing this whole, and this isn't the first time they've sort of protested against lip syncing.
No.
Now, Matt was on drums, Dom was on guitar, and Dom was on bass, and Chris was on guitar. Chris looks really weird holding Matt's red glitterati guitar
with a pair of Top Gun aviators on.
With a pair of Top Gun aviators, and at the time, Chris's beer belly. I know he was doing his alcohol recovery, but he was still a bit tubby, so he looked weirdly out of proportion. Dom playing a left-handed bass with aviators on, not really knowing what to do with his hands, bit stilted, and then Matt weirdly putting way more effort into kind of being a frontman than he'd ever done at that point on guitar. It looked uncool. So I am going to say, I don't even have to try and disagree with you. I think that's uncool. Whereas I think although there's no video footage of it, but the Hey You Crazy Kids one where they lip synced to, no, it was a live vocal, but like backing track of the instruments for Muscle Museum, where Chris and Dom changed position. Matt didn't play guitar and just ran around with a wireless microphone. That's way more kind of piss take. There was a really good one where they did lip syncing for Bliss, and like Dom's got a keyboard and he just rubs his hands up and down it to just obviously take the piss. I think this was a bit cringe because it went a bit too far. It's funny, Don't get me wrong, it's funny. However, I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean, fair enough.
I'm happy to let this slide, and we can put it in cool if you relent and let me have a victory for something if we do disagree in the future.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair because, you know, it wasn't exactly cool at face value because obviously the aviators and, you know, other stuff, but that you've already mentioned. But but then on the other hand, I think it's cool just for the factor of that, you know, there's a band that's actually willing to go against all their management and all their team and just go fuck it. You know, I think that's quite funny and quite cool. So I'm happy to go to sort of for it to go into like a split decision.
So where do we want to put it?
It goes into cool, doesn't it?
Okay. We'll put it in cool. I'm gonna pretend cool is briefly changing its title to just funny. But that's just me. But yeah, I don't think it's definitely not super cool, but I think it's more than cool. But I'm happy to relent for that one. Now the next. So we've had that. Let me just go through my options. We've had that. Right. Here's one. Now mine is the time Matt Bellamy pushed Chris's bass tech on stage in the Absolution tour. No, I was going to wait. I'm glad I didn't mention this one to you. This is me trying to find a still from the video. The videography on it is really terrible because it was like happening right in front of the guy's face. There's no good frame from when this happened. So you'll just have to take my word for it. This is Chris's bass tech. And just here is the Laser Manson. They just finished the set. They'd just done all the Stockholm Syndrome stuff. Behind this, so directly behind the cameraman is a wing of the stage. Matt was doing some stuff with the guitar. He went over and then put the guitar on Chris's bass tech and then pushed him out on stage. And whilst that might be funny to Matt, that was incredibly cringe. So I'm already petitioning for a new column on the Cool Wall of just cringe. In the same way, there is the Manson Guitar Works fridge off camera. I'm petitioning for a cringe locker on this side. Thoughts, Josh? Thoughts.
Well, obviously it's hilarious, but it's. I mean, you've taken someone who's obviously, you know, clearly didn't want to go on stage and decided to push them out there anyway.
Well, yeah, that's why it's cringe. It's like this guy did not want to do that.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a moment we had in like one of our school plays where I think one of the kids didn't want to go out on stage, and it's that one of the parents sort of like, just go, just get up there. And
I've driven all the way here, and I have to pretend to like the performances of these things. I can't even heckle.
No, so yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's kind of it's not really exactly cool, I suppose. I mean, because, you know, Matt. It's not like Matt pushed the guitar tech out there and all the whole crowd went, "Oh, that's so cool." You know, it just doesn't fit. So yeah, I'm kind of happy to go with it in somewhere in the uncool section.
We can go with like many things of it. It's like we could label it as Matt Bellamy doing a thing, so like behavior Matt has done, or like just the incident itself in its entirety. It's not just one thing. I just think it's super uncool, but you know, borderline this new category of cringe. But it's just like, what are you doing? That's just weird. That might be funny.
Yeah, I think it's one of Matt's sort of like moments of just like where he goes absolutely nuts, doesn't know what he's doing on stage, and then just does something. So yeah, I mean, yeah, super uncool, I suppose. Yeah.
Hey, victory for me. Cool. Right. Good. Next for you.
Next for me is something that I mean, if there was a category on here which is just like madly irritating, that was the category, then this would be going into it. So it's not really nothing specifically, I suppose, the band's fault, but this is just, you know, anything related to Muse. So I thought I'd put in here the crowd clapping off time to Starlight.
To anything.
But Starlight is the one that is just like, because Matt goes to the front and he's clapping perfectly in time. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's just like that, just absolutely getting it so off grid, and it's so distracting. It's so distracting.
I know what you mean.
Because then, you get that moment where they all sort of go off grid, and then everyone's like, oh, and then they all get back in time again, and then everyone
somehow,
you know, it keeps happening. But I think this is this is super uncool when this happens, because guys, please clap in time. It's not difficult. I mean, guys, Matt's demonstrating. It's like he's just showing.
He's literally doing it for you.
Do it.
He's literally doing it for you. I think so that's fair.
Here comes the image for that.
Here comes the image for that. Although you do realise what you're saying when you do that, because you can't pick out a specific crowd, so you have to generalise. So you just say all audiences. So you're.
I think it happens at every gig that I go to, more or less. So.
Okay, but what you're doing is not only insulting the audience there, you're also insulting our audience and also ourselves.
Yeah,
Josh.
But then if I were to pick a specific concert, and that concert was in Spain, for example, then I'm insulting all of the Spanish viewers, and that is somewhat worse. So I think it's a collective effort.
You could have said the French, and that would have been hilarious.
And then you get a nice comment from Tom on the next video. Or this video, sorry.
I was thinking more about what I'm just thinking more about.
He won't sort me out any tickets, will he? And in the future, just be like, no, because you put the French crowd in the uncool section, super uncool section of your French
in uncool. Now, I think that would be funny on so many levels. One, because the French are the eternal enemy of the English, and also my partner is French.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying
people clapping off time in general.
So people
during
clapping
Starlight.
off time. So you're saying super uncool.
I'm saying that's super uncool. I mean, I don't see a world where that would be. It's so cool to clap off time. You know.
Now
it's just like, look, watch this, and everyone looks around, and.
But you have to generalize. So I'm arguing that you're putting any audience, and also us and our own lovely, beautiful, wonderful audience at home in that.
And no, not necessarily.
I don't know. You can't pick and choose. So
you can, because some people clap in time. Some people clap in time. Those people,
I make sure that I clap in time. I'm sure that you clap in time. So you want to say?
I absolutely do.
So you want to make? So you want to make this when an audience member. When any number of audience member claps out of time for Starlight.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, as long as we are specific on that. So if you at home can't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can't do that, that wasn't in time with the BPM that I set, but kind of just playing with that. Just go home and sort yourself out. You
just reminded me of my music teacher at school when he was just trying to teach people rhythm, and just no one got it apart from me. And there's just a lot. It's just him just going there, just like, so here's how I count. He's a 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you'd always literally just bob up and down like that.
Yeah, count 1 to 4 in your head, and just put emphasis on the beginning of it. But yeah, I know, I'm with you on that. Okay, next. Oh, hitting my microphone stand. Next. We move from audience members being unable to keep in time to giant inflatables. It is, of course, time for Murph.
Murph. Oh, wow. Well, I mean, let's see your thoughts on it first.
Now, there's so many ways you could look at this, I think. It's a giant inflatable. It's also a character that they made, and they gave it the name Murph. That immediately makes it uncool. The name alone. The name is terrible.
Go on. Well, I was going to say there's two ways that I look at this. This is like the two arguments I'm going on in my head. This is my right brain arguing with my left brain, if you want to call it that. But there's an element of like something, big comes out the stage and everyone claps and goes, "Wow, that's unbelievable," including myself. Do you know what I mean? There's the effort that's gone behind that. That's really cool because you're putting a lot of effort into something, and having that moment on stage, everyone records it, I suppose, is pretty cool. But then there's this one specific thing that I have in rock music that I absolutely hate. I just hate it. And it's that whenever you see, people doing that, or like, skulls and flames and all of those general, like anything you can think that fits into that category of dad rock. Do you know what I mean? Leather jackets, those sunglasses, the doing that, and devil horns
wearing aviators.
And Don wearing aviators, and
I just hate aviators. I really don't like aviators.
Yeah, and obviously that's a skeleton, which again is like that kind of infused dad rock sort of. Yeah, man, that sort of stuff. I hate that. I hate it. So, yeah, for that reason, I'm gonna put that into super uncool just for that reason alone. I think that just has to take priority. But I don't know, if that's not really what they were intending. I mean,
well, no, I think we can. I'm gonna say that we can allow ourselves to go with how we take it, not what they were intending. Now, usually I'm all about like, how did you attend it? It's all we can go on. I'm gonna go with you largely. I'm not gonna say super uncool. I'm just gonna put it into really uncool. Partly because we've got nothing, barely anything in uncool, just to even it out a little bit. But yeah, it's like a skeleton, which is not wholly original. I don't see how it really links to simulation theory in general. Is it like someone who, because it's from simulation theory, so is it from someone who was plugged into the simulation and then died? I don't really get that. The name is dumb. For some reason, I thought it was called Eddie. For some reason, but Eddie was the UFO or something. I don't know. So yeah, the name didn't even like stick. It's a skeleton, which is just not wholly original. I like the cyber aspect of that because that's what that helmet is, but it doesn't save it. And when you just look at it, it looks a bit kind of rubbish. And there was that one time where it deflated or didn't inflate, and so like the whole visual was just compromised. So it was very temperamental. I'm going to argue strongly for just uncool because it's just so ridiculous, but not in a kind of flair kind of way. And it's taking itself too seriously. Look at the design; it's really trying to be serious.
Yeah. I mean, I can probably agree with you on that because like I'm just kind of looking at it as they've chosen a skeleton like because it's like, oh, that's cool. Isn't it? And I just
is it?
No.
And let's think about it for more than 2 microseconds. Oh yeah, skeletons aren't cool. Like because they've been around for too long. They've been turned into like a cartoon. Like it's not serious. Like after a while, all these things that we define as kind of being perceived in a specific way degrade. Like like the symbol for like radiation or radioactivity or danger radiation is kind of used in a lot of places where it's just kind of been absorbed by culture. And there was someone who designed like a concept for nuclear waste dumps to kind of keep them away, and they were like really foreboding. It was just like full of like really pointy objects that were like terrifying. It was like Skull and Crossbones, the Jolly Roger, which is all about pirates. Now it's cutified, and kids dress up as pirates for Halloween, and they all look really cute and sweet, and it's funny. But like back in the day, these people would skin you alive and drink your blood and pull your eyes out with a spoon. It was like, whereas I think this is kind of going in that direction where it's taking itself too seriously and it looks ridiculous.
Yeah. And also it reminds me of that kind of like a final boss on a early 2000s game where he comes and swipes his hand across and that's the only animation he has. Or it just reminds me Yeah, or it reminds me of a Scooby-Doo character. Like I'm expecting him to lift off his helmet at the end, and him go, just like, I wouldn't have got away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. Do you know what I mean? Or you meddling Muse fans.
Mr. Jameson, the janitor.
It's just like, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for Matt Bellamy, Dom Howard, and Chris Wolstenholme, and all you fans out there. I would have taken Matt and taken him off stage.
No. I would have scalped all those tickets, and I would have gotten away with it too.
Maybe he just wants Matt's guitar. That's why his hand keeps coming across. He's just like, give me it. Oh, bollocks.
I want it.
It's just like, give me that guitar.
Like, can I have a free guitar? No, yeah, that's cool. I'm pleased that we've got something in uncool and that we largely agree that Murph is uncool. Hit me with your next pick, if you've got any left. I've got 2 left.
I'm
pretty sure that all the viewers at home can guess at least what one of those 2 of mine is. But anyway, yours.
My next pick is Matt. There's actually 2 things that I have on this, but I'm only going to use this one because we will return to this in a future episode. All right,
MCU announcer. This image will return in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah. It's just like this will return. December the 19th. Yeah. So I have Matt Bellamy at Download Festival shouting "Fuck the Leicestershire Police" for scanning your faces while entering the arena or the festival, because they were scanning people's faces at Download Festival that year, and that's what Matt decided to say on stage. And although I was like, "Good for you," I was kind of also at the same time, that's a bit cringe, isn't it? Because it's not really their choice. It's the government, really. It's not the police, is it? I mean, they're just following orders. So that was a little bit really cringe for me, that. But I'm going to put that into super uncool because I don't think it's cool to call out the police over a decision that was clearly not their own.
Yeah, and with that, you got an image for it.
Yeah.
Matt Bellamy calling out the police. Matt Bellamy's own version of "fuck the police," but it's like "fuck you, Leicestershire Police." Anyway, carrying on. I think
they got backlash for that as well. I think.
Really? Bloody hell.
Yeah, I think there was news articles that wrote about it saying Matt Bellamy, talk shit about the police on stage.
About the thin blue line, boys in blue, just doing their job.
About the boys in blue, yeah.
Yeah. It might work if it was a band that has a history of doing these sorts of things. Now Muse have done political stuff for a long time. But it might work if it was a band like Rage Against the Machine, and it might sound better if it was, I don't know, if it was an American band saying it. Basically, what I have issue is the fact that he said Leicestershire Police. There's no way that you can make almost any county in England sound cool. Leicestershire, Worcester.
No. That's why it's always
the greatest county in all of England. The West Midlands. No, none of it can sound cool.
Yeah, it's the same thing with motorways. Same thing with motorways
the
over
M25.
Here. Yeah, do you know what I mean? They, always in American songs and country songs, do you know what I mean? Route 66. Route 66. Do you know what I mean? You never hear someone over here going, the M25, just like the A340. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Ain't going to happen.
So... Yeah, but anyway,
he could have just said, "Fuck the police for scanning your faces and profiling you." Yeah, maybe that would have sounded better. But poor choice in wording. Was it really the?
I would have switched police to government. Yeah, switch police to government because it would have come from. It's a decision that's come from up top. For this sort of thing, I mean, broadly speaking, that's where it's coming from. So it's not the police have decided, the local Leicestershire police have gone, should we scan faces for download, do you think?
For no other reason. Should we just go there and waste police time and scan faces? Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, that's not how it's done. A lot of people throw a lot of shade at the police generally. At least in Britain, I know that in America, you step on the wrong bit of pavement and they'll shoot you. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
Police carrying guns, I don't think is a great idea. My girlfriend tells me that there's a lot of instances of police in France just shooting people. Is it aggravated? I don't know, but I can only go off of what British police do. Now, British police don't carry guns, so we don't. Well, apart from special.
It's only it's only the like the ones you'll get at airports and things like that, which have I think that's sensible.
Yeah, that's sensible. Or in London. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago I was in London and I just walked past some police officers that were just carrying guns. One of them looked like a child who was carrying a gun bigger than her. But we don't have issues of police shooting people dead. We've just got police just following orders. They do what they have to do. That's their job. If they don't like it, they can find a new job. They don't decide to do these things. I think it's people not quite understanding how the law works.
Yeah, the hierarchy of the... how this stuff works.
It's the law, it's legislation. If they want to change it, you have to vote for it. Democracy is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Democracy is at risk at the moment in 2026. All I can ever say is get out there and vote for the party that's actually going to help you, not with all sorts of bullshit, flattery stuff. It's about political parties actually know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long time and actually are capable of helping your fellow man. Basically, if you vote for reform, you're a fucking idiot. That's all I'm going to say on that. Anyway, Matt Bellamy talking shit about the police download. I would say uncool. I don't know about super uncool. What did you say again?
I said super uncool.
Okay, right. Yeah. I moved for Murph saying being uncool, but I'll go for that. I'll dip his toe into a bit of uncool, but I'll go with super uncool just to be nice and fair and split and even for us. Okay, great. My penultimate choice is in the similar vein to Murph. We have the second law and unsustainable robot Charles.
It just looks like an 80s toy. It just looks like a toy that's made in Britain.
He was very much made to be a toy. Now, I'm not going to say my piece on this. I'm going to see what you say about this, because I just went on a tirade about how reform are the worst thing to ever hit Britain ever, because they actually don't care about the people. So I'm going to let you speak for a moment.
Well, I just don't like the toyish sort of just like, okay. It looks like, it just looks like if you ask a child to draw a robot, that is what they draw. Literally that exactly right there with the, the grill mouth and the eyes, it's that sort of generic sort of thing. And I suppose if you're judging it here, you've got to judge it on the unsustainable music video as well.
It's actually a different. It's a completely different kind of like look.
It's slightly different. Yeah.
Let me get it up.
But I'm gonna guess that they are the same, but they just didn't design it exactly how it was in the video. But again, that's just a guess. But
broadly the same. But I think that to my memory, that it is different. Yes, it is because. Yeah, the robot, or the inverted commas robot in Unsustainable, is actually more of a TV screen than a robot.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually completely different.
Well, so, so...
Well, there's loads of me.
There's lots of you.
Anyway.
You're doing pretty well.
Doing pretty well. That's good SEO right there.
Absolutely. So the on-stage robot, then, I don't know. It's hard to judge some of these because I don't have any sort of general feelings towards it. It's just something that existed. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's kind of like. Well,
that's why I wanted to get you to speak about it first, because I don't imagine that you'd kind of actively thought about this, and I wanted to get like a fresh mind or fresh view to it to see what you think about it. Because I've already made my decision where I think I put this.
I think that it should probably go into just cool, because I'm just kind of neutral about it, really. I think I'm just kind of neutral about it. Because, correct. Yeah, it's cool stage prop. isn't it? It's a cool stage prop. Someone's designed it and put a lot of work into it. So, and it's cool that Muse do these sort of things instead of just doing the generic crap that a lot of artists do. And yeah, but again, I don't think it's necessarily uncool. I don't necessarily think it's super cool either. If they'd improved the design of it, perhaps if like they made it look more like the one in the video and it had a TV sort of monitor mounted on its head, like a huge LCD monitor or something like that, whatever they use, that would look a bit more cool. And then if it, you know, like maybe like in the intro or something, you know, when it says unsustainable in that voice, the actual robot moves its mouth on that TV screen. That would be super cool. That'd be leaning on more towards that side of the grid. But yeah, I think this is just in the middle. It's just cool.
I think I'm going to put it in cool so to kind of like go over things about Murph. It's the big one for me is that this is obviously not trying to take itself too seriously because it looks like a child's toy, and I think that's a big win. Right, they're just being a bit funny whereas Murph is trying to be too serious, and it kind of ruins the whole thing. And it's if you see like the jaw in the skull, it's like so detailed. It's not trying to be cartoonish. It's trying to be like a real kind of living, breathing thing. And whereas the robot is just it's just a lot more fun. It's kind of being kind of more just playful, and it's a super minor detail, but it's a lot better. Now they're both 3D objects. They're like Murph is an inflatable. The robot is like a giant like physical thing that it exists. But I think the robot's better because it moves. It would like go forwards and backwards and move its arms a little bit, move its head. It's a lot more interactive. Whereas Murph it's a head and then that body, and then the arm would move because people would be like pulling on like ropes behind, and that kind of like takes it out of me. But like with the robot, I mean, maybe there are people like moving it, but because it's all its own thing, there's like one thing. I think there's so much more kind of like fun drama and fun theatre to it that makes it more fun. And that's why I think it's cool. It's not super cool because at the end of the day, it is a giant child's toy on stage. Is that cool? No, I think it's just, that's a fun little idea. I like that. And that they used it for just like one part of the set. It wasn't like the whole thing. It wasn't like, right, we spent so much money on this. We're going to get our fucking money's worth. It's going to be on every song. I think well used, I think.
Yeah, the only change that I would have made to Murph that actually probably would have made it a lot cooler is the fact that I would have taken the spotlight out of its mouth and replaced it with lasers in there, because that would have been cool during that segment. I'm not talking just one laser either. I'm talking probably quite a few, you know, maybe sort of like 10 units in there or something like 5 units. And then, you know, imagine that sort of like, you know, shooting out at that certain part. That would have been a bit more sort of music because I know they love their lasers, don't they? But
do love a laser.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that would just make it more cool. But I'm glad that we agree that it's cool. It's firmly like there. It exists. And it's a nice little, funny little, cute little addition. So yeah, on to your last pick.
On to my last one. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, we have Matt's synth glove.
Behold the glove.
Yeah, behold the glove, and he's doing that. And then he plays the intro to Uprising on it, which again just doesn't sound right. We just don't need that.
Because it was just an iPhone, right?
It's just an iPhone, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
It's just an iPhone holder.
Yeah, literally. It's just, but it's just. I can see it was some things, as people will know, whether it's uncool or cool, is literally such a borderline thing, and it's so specific sometimes.
It can go either way. That's the
it can be so it's the margin for that is so small, but I think it's just for some reason it's trying to be cool, and that's what makes it uncool. That's the problem I have with it.
It's a try hard.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna send the picture.
So here comes the picture for that one.
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's the image I was thinking of exactly as well. Like just the pose and all. There we go.
Yeah, I think it's also the amount of, it could be all of it, to be honest, because it's the glove mixed with that LED jacket mixed with the LED glasses. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just too
Matt
much.
wants
It's just
to be
like,
the
look at
world's
me.
first LED human. He just wants to be made of LEDs.
I mean, like the glasses the glasses he wore on the Resistance tour, I mean, that's kind of a bit more cool because it's just the glasses, do you know what I mean? And that's kind of his thing, that he started wearing those. But now he's taken it literally to a whole new level where it's just like, right, LED jacket, LED glasses, glove, LED trousers. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just a bit unnecessary. I think Dom said to him, it's just like he used to look at him when he was sort of walking during the interval, when he was walking out in his jacket when he'd get changed, and Dom used to sort of give him that look of just like, you're such a twat, you are. As he was walking out, he just used to look at him and just shake his head of disappointment, just like,
you're going with the literal laser beam jacket and glove, are you? Okay. Do you want to?
Yeah, well, I suppose I might as well do all of it, because that picture encapsulates all of it, and I think it's
I meant Dom going to Matt. You gonna wear that? You gonna wear that?
Oh, it's all of it. I think it's all of it because it was Matt that was telling the story, but he would say like, oh, wearing Dom used to see me coming past wearing my LED jacket and my glove, and that's when he'd give that kind of and he'd just give that look of like disapproval. Of just like, why don't we just go back to like the black holes era? I mean, why do we need all of this rubbish? Like, and I'm kind of in agreement with that as well.
Yeah. So where are we putting this?
Super uncool.
Super uncool. I'm not. I can't disagree with you. I think it's silly. I think it would have been interesting as a prop
silly,
for a video,
yeah.
But if it's kind of a full gimmick for a whole thing, you know what the funny thing that I find about the glove. The funniest thing about it, it's not the glove itself. It's that when it would be worn, Matt had a special bin next to his pedal board he would have to put it in when he took it off to play Uprising. It had its own special little box.
And he had to take it off, like, at the start of the Simulation Theory shows where they'd play sort of like the intro, and then he'd have to take it off and hand it to someone below the stage on that rising platform. And then he'd come up with the glove like that, do you know what I mean? Doing the whole, you know what I mean? Here I come. Like he'd rise up on that platform. And it was kind of that look of just like,
what are you doing? Yeah.
But
yeah. Cool. So we're in agreement. Moving on to my final choice. I'm gonna do this one in from scratch, just so we can see it properly. It is of no surprise. And speaking about some of the things that we've just been speaking about now, my final choice is Matt Bellamy himself. We have seen him
really hard.
We have
really
seen
hard.
him wear a sparkly jacket that has lasers on it and a glove that has a phone in it. We've seen him push bass techs on stage. We've seen him kind of try and storm up a crowd to whinge about Leicestershire police and kind of missing the mark of what it's all about. We've seen him catch a fish and be so proud of it he tries to get Dom's attention. It comes as no surprise that I'm going to put Matt Bellamy in super uncool, borderline cringe. Now, it might sound weird for me to do this as quite a major fan, but I believe that my eyes are wide open. My tinfoil hat is on firmly. The band Muse is cool. We've seen ourselves. We just hide his beautiful face. Even that. So we've seen Dom, super cool. Chris, super cool. Great. Matt, though, no, that's just my view. Feel free to disagree with me, Josh. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to disagree slightly because I think it's very hard to rate the band members because they've all gone through different phases in the band. You know what I mean? The band's moved from different looks to different things over the years. When he was during Harp, during Black Holes, I think he was pretty cool because he wasn't trying to be cool. He was just like, you know what, or someone in the team was like, I think you should wear this, like, for example, the red suit. Do you know what I mean? I think you should wear that. He wasn't trying to sort of go around stage with the mic, with a wireless microphone, trying to do all this fancy stuff he does now. He just stood behind a microphone, like this one, actually, wasn't it? Because there was like boom mics like that they had back then.
Oh yeah,
and
it's like what you'd have on like radio stations, like this kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it would keep your guitar sort of further away from the mic stand. But yeah, like he used to just stand there and do his thing, and he wouldn't do anything cringe like back then. I wouldn't say there's really anything that he did that was
when
cringe.
He was,
in fact,
when he was anchored to the stage, he was more cool.
Because
it's all about potential. It's all about he could do this, but he's not. So it's like, could he do? But now he's been unleashed through the power of wireless Shaw microphones. Oh God, what have we done?
But he went from like in the early days to be like, I mean, that was uncool because like he's doing a lot of it was funny. Don't get me wrong. Like this is not me saying, oh, why I don't get why you do that. I totally get it, but it was uncool. You know, he would do a lot of stuff in the early days. It was just like ridiculous and it was just totally uncalled for and just like outrageous. But moving into the Black Holes and Revelations era, he was a lot more sort of serious back then. You know, he was just a lot more like, right, I'm here to do a job. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to sing. I'm going to play guitar, and that's it. And he wouldn't do anything that was just uncool at all. But then he would move into now where he's doing a lot more uncool stuff, but for different reasons. So I would have to have a bit more of a balanced view on it. Because
when we did Chris and Dom, we did them as they are now. We did do era-specific Chris and Dom. We've done them as they are now. And as Matt is now is this lunatic running around on stage.
As Matt is now, it's uncool, yeah. But I mean...
I'm just going to put that in there just so that we are not kind of looking at him as a whole. We are looking at him as he is now. So
but
I just wanted to remind you of that.
Yeah, but for the other band members, it's different because Chris has always kind of been Chris. In fact, he's a lot more cooler now. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's always
that means he's more authentic.
Yeah, exactly. And Dom's always been Dom. You know, he's always just sat behind the drum kit and played the drums very well. Matt is that kind of. He's a character where he can, you know, he's so era dependent. It's so hard to put him in one place or another. I mean, if we put him on this, we'd have to animate him like that, moving across the whole thing, like literally, because I just couldn't put him anywhere because there's moments when I saw him and I looked at him and I thought on the Harp DVD and I thought, mate, he's just so cool. He's such a cool guy. And, you know, all of my friends who like Muse would used to say the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Like we'd like even pretend to be Muse, like when we were like kids, do you know what I mean? And everybody would fight to be Matt Bellamy. I want to be them. I want to be, you know, me and my cousin used to do the same thing. And so, yeah, it kind of feels wrong to...
Sorry.
My cousin.
Yeah. GTA reference.
Like Breaking Bad or something like it's like when Tuco, isn't it? Cousin.
I was doing a GTA thing. Was it GTA 4? I don't know. I see what you're saying. I see, like back then he was cool, but I am looking at with this lens now where he's just unhinged. That's where I'm going. If it was like era specific, anything up to Black Holes, although there was a pair of shoes that he wore in Black Holes era that I thought were nah, take those off, put something else on. That's
the red ones, I think.
No. Those ones I like. The ones that he wore at the Harp, not the red ones, but after the costume change. Yeah, they were
stripes Valentinos.
I like those. I just the stripes looked good. But there was a pair of shoes that he wore for like the Abbey Road studio session where they did.
Oh, they were just shoes. They were just like
they were just shoes.
Like Russell and Bromley shoes.
Not like, yeah, I was just like, ugh, don't like those.
No,
didn't like them. Just
Look like school
also, they
shoes.
looked, they just didn't look comfortable, and they looked like school shoes. I was like, Matt, you've done your GCSEs. Come on, we've done this.
He's been to Clark's.
Yeah, literally. He just popped to Clark's. I'm doing a show in Abbey Road. I just need some comfortable shoes. We've got these. I'll take.
The place where you'd go is just like I know my size. We're just going to get him these. You just go right. Well, we're just going to measure. And you just go, no, but I don't need to be measured. I know my size. Yeah, but we're just going to measure.
Just quickly measure. Going to put you on this machine. I'm just going to fondle your feet for a minute, and then just have some woman who does not want to be there just fondling your feet to get put it properly in the space. And he goes, "Yep, you've got feet."
Yep.
I just have flashbacks to getting school shoes with my mum at the age of 7. Oh God.
So I mean, I suppose we put him in. We'd have to put him in. If we're talking about now, he's probably got to go sort of between perhaps super uncool to uncool. Perhaps I'd say.
If it were me, he's going there. If it's me, but if you want to say, if you want to get jiggy with it, as it were, we can do a bit of that. So it's bit into uncool, but mostly super uncool. No, this is not an attack on Matt Bellamy. I think he's a wonderful musician. He's my favorite musician. He's my favorite guitarist. But I think the thing about being a Muse fan is you have to be aware that people think that Muse are desperately uncool, and you just have to bear that cross. You just have to do it, and you have to realize that Muse are a cool band.
Fair enough.
But the guy running the show is not cool. He's kind of like uncool by proxy, or kind of like the band is cool in spite of him, is my view. But
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I'm happy to do era specific, Matt. We can definitely do that.
Maybe we can. When we do it in a later video, we might sort of update it a little bit, and we'll let you know the changes that we've made if we're going to do era specific, because that might be a bit more accurate for the band members at least. Yeah,
I think that's fair. And with that, it brings us to a close of the first ever Cool Wall on the Muse Talk podcast. We've looked at quite a bit. We've looked at Matt's red suit, a robot, Chris smoking a pipe, another robot. So many robots. Guitar delivering robots. The audience.
This is definitely Muse.
The audience themselves. And everything else in between, like trousers. Muse are a band that are usually able to laugh at themselves and just have fun, and that usually makes it authentic. With an air of self-awareness, they really are able to pull off something that most bands have never done before. But they are not immune to some occasional lapses in cleverness.
Like all of us.
Like all of us. And I think it's only fair that at some point I'm going to do it now. We should put ourselves on the Muse Cool Wall, because if we're talking smack about the world, we have to do the same. And I would put myself so far off to the left-hand side of this, beyond the cringe column. I'm in my own little 6th dimension of super duper, unimaginably uncool. That's where I put myself.
Yeah, I'll probably be there as well. I think you need an ultra wide monitor from Samsung to be able to view my position. But If I just zoom out for a minute, I'm gonna be over here. Pluto.
Literally more than. So yeah, there we go. That's the Cool Wall, and that brings us to the end of this episode. We've spoken about a lot. We've been going for now 2 hours, over 2 hours. Another long episode.
This was a Top Gear special.
It's a Top Gear special. With a budget of nothing, we have not done a special driving down to Africa. We started and ended in our respective rooms. This has been great. I've really enjoyed this. We'll come back to the Cool Wall, whether we keep these images on and we just keep adding to them, or if I just kind of wipe the slate clean, depends entirely upon if I can make it work. We've looked at a lot. We've had quite a chunk of a discussion about what we think Hexagons is going to shape up to be, and where we're at.
You mean
Nightshift Superstar. I get yeah. So we had a tiny brief about hexagons because I wanted to talk about the number 6.
Yeah, we did have that.
Yeah, Nightshift Superstar. Where we think that's going to be. We're super excited about Disco, and I am very excited to find out if it's just a really, really good and dedicated member of the NHS, or if it is something to do that changes in the night. Let us know down in the comments below if you think it's nurse or the nighttime. And we've also looked at viewer comments. Hint. Put a comment down. We might read it out. Have a deeply considered thought, and we definitely will read it out. And also, while you're there, like the video as well. It helps us to spread it out further because we have no budget for marketing. So we are our success is purely based entirely upon interaction. Organic SEO is where we're at. So yeah, with that, we're going to leave you be because it's been 2 hours. I'm sure that you're all bored to tears by us. It has been a long one. I didn't think we'd go this long talking about the cool wall. It was like what a 7-minute segment on Top Gear. We've managed to make an entire episode in its own with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Genuinely.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining with us, dear audience. I've been Harry.
And I have been Josh.
And thanks for watching.